Good morning, folks. Everything new under the sun. Just want to bring you up to date on Hurricane Fiona. I've got the morning amateur radio net going on in the background. Everybody getting ready, and remember, for in terms of communications, amateur radio is one of the best ways to be able to communicate. Not only short distance, but long distance, and that's really key to be able to monitor across the Maritimes, see what's happening for emergency news, and indeed there will be a can warn net starting up. I believe it's Saturday morning, if not earlier, where folks call in every hour on the hour with news of what's happening and the situation on the ground where those particular amateur radio operators are. Now, what you're seeing is Hurricane Fiona. As it's predicted to come across Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, both under hurricane watches, not just tropical storm watches, but hurricane watches. CNN article says Canadians are bracing for what could be the strongest storm to ever hit their country's coast. This is one of the biggest and strongest storms to ever hit Canada. Every Nova Scotian, says the article, should be preparing today and bracing for impact. John Lohr, the minister responsible for the Provincial Emergency Management Office, said in a Thursday news conference. Now, outside, I look out my office window, and it is currently raining. The wind is still right now, and it will pick up as we go through today into this afternoon. Hurricane Fiona has lashed the Caribbean, is forecast to brush by Bermuda as a dangerous Category 3, and shows no sign of slowing before it slams into Canada Saturday morning. So I'll switch the image, and you can see the track of Hurricane Fiona. You can see a Category 3 hurricane there as it heads up through, basically crossing Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, right up there. And basically all of PEI and half of Nova Scotia is under a full hurricane warning right now. This could be Canada's version of Hurricane Sandy, said Chris Fogarty, a meteorologist for Canada's Hurricane Centre, pointing to the size and intensity of Fiona and its combination of hurricane and winter storm characteristics. So it looks like a nor'easter. To everybody in the Maritimes. It's a nor'easter plus a hurricane. Basically, nor'easters we're well used to. Storms in the winter that often come bring wind and rain from the northeast, and they can be problematic, not devastating, particularly in the winter, but significant storms which often bring a lot of snow in the winter and when the temperatures are below freezing. Hurricane Sandy affected 24 states and all the eastern seaboard, causing an estimated $78 billion in damage. Fiona was about 1,200 miles southwest of Halifax, Nova Scotia on Thursday morning, it says, and the area is already bracing. Please take it seriously, says John Fogarty. John Fogarty is not the... Chris Fogarty. I think John Fogarty is one of the members of Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR, I think, if you remember that. The storm is expected to bring severe, damaging wind gusts, very high waves, coastal storm surges, intense and dangerous rainfalls, prolonged power outages, and this is why I go on about solar power, battery backup, having alternative means. Basically, everyone where I am, all through the Maritimes, they were stocking up on gas. They were filling up jerry cans. A lot of gas stations are completely out of gas right now because people are filling up jerry cans for their gasoline generators. Well, that's well and good, and I'm not saying that solar power is the end all and be all, but given that so many are relying on fossil fuels, it runs out of the station. So having something a little bit different from everybody else means that if I have trouble, they can help me with their gas engines. If they have trouble, I can help them with solar and battery. So that's a good option to have, even if it's a small system, 400 watts with a Jackery or a Lemmy power, like I did a video on. These are units which can, not the Lemmy power, but the Jackery 1500 can run your well pump. Your well pump only runs for a minute, 2 minutes at a time, and so in a pinch, it would fill up your toilets, allow you to get some fresh water every hour or every couple hours, and so it's key for that. So this particular storm, going back again to the prior image there, the lowest pressure ever recorded in Canada was 940 millibars, and that happened in January 1977. That's the lowest pressure. And of course, the low pressure system is what brings the wind, because it's like a bowl, and all the bad weather kind of falls into the bowl, is how it was explained to me. Current weather forecasts for models are indicating that the Fiona will make landfall in eastern Nova Scotia with a pressure of 925 to 935 millibars. So the lowest pressure ever recorded in Canada was 940 millibars, 940. This one is expected to be at 925, 925, or 935 millibars. This is the lowest pressure ever recorded in Canada. So a pressure of 920 to 944 millibars is typically found in a Category 4 hurricane. Category 4 hurricane is typically where you see those sorts of low pressure values. Many forecasters are comparing this to 2003's Hurricane Juan, which battered the Canadian coast, as a Category 2 storm. So based on the winds forecasts, it's not quite up to the level of Category 1, Category 2 hurricane, but based on the pressure, it certainly matches a Category 4 hurricane. They said Hurricane Juan in 2003 was much smaller. This one is huge, they're saying, this particular Hurricane Fiona. The storm's hurricane force winds extend 70 miles in either direction from its center, and tropical storm force winds extend more than 200 miles. A path of 144 miles wide could experience hurricane force winds, and an area of more than 400 miles across could experience tropical storm force winds. Again, flipping back to the track there, you see the timeline on the track. So Friday 3 p.m. it's still a Category 3. Saturday 3 a.m. in the morning, it is apparently still a Category 3 hurricane. Incredible. And then as it goes over Cape Breton and Nova Scotia there, it becomes or it degrades to a Category 1 according to this particular model. Now it may just be a post-tropical storm at that point, as it hits Cape Breton, which are high rocky areas in Nova Scotia, which will kind of tear that storm apart and go into a post-tropical after that. But significant. As we haven't seen this in many, many years, and in fact, the pressure and the hurricane force winds never seen before in Canada. This is, I think, a first ever hurricane watch. Hurricane Fiona has the potential to be a landmark weather event in eastern Canada this weekend. And let me just go see if I can pull this up here. So this is CNN. Potential to be a landmark weather event in eastern Canada this weekend, and we encourage public to continue to monitor their forecast regularly. Now they are telling. They're telling people to basically finish your emergency preparations. Rush to finish emergency preparations. This is significant. Fiona is purely a hurricane right now. As it begins to interact with cold weather system and jet stream, it will transition to a superstorm with characteristics of both a strong hurricane and strong autumn cyclone with hurricane force winds. So the news all throughout the Maritimes is rush to complete all your preparations, your emergency preparations for at least 72 hours worth of, electricity outage, lack of water. All the bottled water is gone basically from the stores at this point. So folks, I'll leave it there. Be prepared if you're anywhere in the area, and I certainly will be. And this will be a storm for the ages, they're saying right now. So we'll see how it goes, and if the internet holds up, which I expect it will be out come Saturday morning, but I'll try and get you some clips of what's happening locally where I am. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next video.